Hi, everyone. This is a new live stream session where I get to show you some really interesting, people and interesting things that you can do with technology. Today, I'm joined by my dear friend here, Vlad. Hi, Vlad. How you doing?
Hi Hassan, I'm fine. Thank you.
Nice to meet you. Vlad has been, talking to me about this, very interesting thing. I have never heard about it before. You don't even know where to look when it comes to things like these. He's developing .NET apps. Okay, all of us know how to do that, or most of us know how to do that. But he's putting the .NET app, deploying it on blockchain. So the app itself, you're thinking about, okay, I need to build an app on my local computer and then deploy it to the cloud and then it runs. No, this guy is deploying it on a blockchain, a decentralized network, where it's shared everywhere and nowhere at the same time. Right? Sounds like something from the Matrix, but that's very, very interesting to me. Can you explain these things for us? Tell us a little bit about yourself, your experience, your background, and then tell us about this whole, .NET on blockchain stuff. Go ahead.
Okay. So my journey in blockchain world started from 2021. I developed crypto wallet for one company, and in 2022 I meet some guys from Near Blockchain on Rust conference, and on this conference I got some a QR code which I can use and create my first Near Blockchain account and um, try to use this blockchain, write smart contracts on Rust,
Hmm.
deploy it on the blockchain, and use JavaScript for communicating with blockchain like a client. So I try all these things and start to develop some open source uh, products, but on
Hmm.
Flutter. And
Hmm.
Flutter is my main technology.
Hmm. Hmm.
Also, I learned a lot of Java things back in the university,
Hmm.
and it's the reason why I actually know C Sharp and .NET.
Nice.
I always I always think about switching from Java to .NET, but at that time I decided to use Flutter and write mobile application. But
Mhm.
I understand C Sharp and .NET at the basic level, and I think it's very good technology. So in
I
2020,
love the fact that you're just kind of diversifying your skill set. So you're not just kind of sitting in one box and learning one thing. No, you mentioned Java, you mentioned JavaScript. You're using Flutter as a framework, where you kind of build mobile apps, native mobile apps, and JavaScript, TypeScript, maybe, and also C Sharp. And then you also talked about Rust. Do you write in Rust too? Where's
yes, a little bit,
Oh man.
yes,
Okay,
but
sorry. I never.
I
Go
have
ahead.
I have my main skills and secondary skills. And if we talk about secondary skills, it's my Rust, C Sharp, and a lot of other languages too. So it's
Hmm.
interesting for me
Hmm.
to learn new things. But I have main technology on which I work,
Hmm.
and so in 2024.
Hmm.
But I want to mention that started from 2022 up
Hmm.
until 2024. I developed few open source projects for Near already, and I was granted by Near, so I have very good relationships with them and
Hmm.
with people, with the head of development for community tools like
Hmm.
API, SDKs, all of these things for the blockchain. I know this person very
Hmm.
good, and we have good relationships. So I asked him what I can do more for this ecosystem, and
Hmm.
we start to thinking about it. And I said to him, "Look, we have JavaScript, we have Rust, but we don't have languages like Java or C Sharp or something like that."
That runs
And
like that. Yeah.
yes, and
Yeah.
a lot of people actually don't know how to write on Rust, and they don't wanna use JavaScript at all. And I
Yep.
know a lot of people are actually in this situation. So I said to him, maybe we can create a C Sharp SDK for near blockchain. He
Hmm.
said to me, "It's a good idea, but Vlad, I don't believe it can be true because there are some garbage collector and other thing. How you can deploy very small size WASM, less than 1 megabyte on the blockchain, and I don't believe it." So
So one second, Val. Just a quick question. So Vlad, you're basically running a .NET WASM, which is like a very tiny browser-friendly client-side, application on blockchain. You're shipping the entire framework with the app, portable. Basically, it's a portable app that you standalone app. You don't need to have any prerequisite. It runs by itself. And it's kind of a WASM application. Okay, this is getting exciting. Go ahead. I'm
Yes.
listening.
Yes. So and started from 2024. I started to develop it, and I started to think about thinking about how can I port it really, and I going to the Blazor GitHub and see how it works. I going
Mhm,
to other GitHubs where it implemented, and I see one thing, one very interesting thing. I don't have clean WebAssembly. I always need to provide some sort of imports in it. Like it's
mhm,
very dependent thing. I can
mhm,
compile. I was able to compile WASM file on C# back in 2024, but I cannot provide clean environment imports and clean exports from this WebAssembly file. So always
mhm.
a lot of dependency, always super very big size, like
That's right. That's right.
at least 6 MB.
That's right. That's right.
Uh, and
And you're trying to run it in 1 MB, and there are all these
yes,
dependencies. Okay, interesting. Okay.
yes. So uh, um, and after a few months, I understand that it's so hard, and I go to another thing and implement other things,
Mm,
create other packages. Time go on, but I understand that if I will achieve this, I will have first of all, I will have a good grant from the near, so it's good money,
yeah.
and also I will mm, improve myself, my skills, and I will have a very
Level
good.
up. You're basically
Yes.
leveling up. I mean, you're leveling up with things I've personally haven't seen before. Maybe someone done it before. I don't think so. I haven't seen it. I would have heard about it, but you said .NET and blockchain, and I was like, wait a second. What is this guy talking about? I need to see what this guy's talking. I'm pretty sure everyone watching us is also very curious. What are you going to show us? But let me just kind of step back a little bit because I'm trying to bring people to your level, to your mindset, kind of level the play field here. Blockchain. It's basically a decentralized kind of network, right? Where people are kind of sharing contracts and stuff like that. So you can send something from somewhere to somewhere else. And that transaction is replicated and copied across multiple hosts kind of way. And that's how you validate that this transaction is actually true. Did I get that right? I mean, my
Yes,
knowledge is
yes.
so little about blockchain, but that's as far as I remember. Go ahead.
100%. I will tell a little bit about it. So we have like a lot of nodes connected with each other, and we have an account
Hmm.
with private and public key. Our public
Hmm.
key is known for each participants in this blockchain, and we have our private key. We can create transaction. We can send it on the blockchain. For each
Hmm.
transactions, we need to pay some amount of tokens, new tokens.
Uh-huh.
But in case of reading
Hmm.
from the blockchain, it's free on the new blockchain. In
Okay.
case
So
of changing something or change state, write some information on the chain, it will
uh-huh.
cost some amount of money.
Okay, so hold on because people love to see pictures, Vlad, and I'm gonna draw a
Okay.
picture of what you just described, and then you're gonna tell me whether this is what it is or not, because we're not gonna be able to tell people, how important this is unless they see something. So here, this is my screen. You said there's a bunch of nodes, right? That's my computer, your computer, someone else's computer, right? That's how you're describing it, right? So that's a node, like that. And you're saying each one of these nodes has a public and private key, right? So basically, just correct me if I'm wrong here. Basically, each one of those, right? This private key does what? Does it identify your host or something like that? So
Uh,
everyone has a key like that,
Yes,
right?
but the
Uh,
node has keys because in order to run node, you need to be someone who have the ability to run this node, and also you need
mm,
to have some amount of near on your node. So you have
okay,
your own node private public key, but
okay.
only public key you can see. Your private key is hidden, and
Is hidden.
also
That's
yes, it's
right.
hidden. But
Uh-huh.
all these nodes create some sort of universal database. So I can use this blockchain without having my own node, or I can
Interesting.
write
Yeah.
my own node and use blockchain through this node. It is possible. So when I generate my public and private key, and
Hmm.
someone from existed chain
Hmm.
send me some amount of near token, I
Hmm.
already registered in a system. So after I have at least very little size of near like token, I already in the system, and I can send transaction. I
Hmm.
can read and write something, so I can communicate with other people through this blockchain.
Okay, okay. So you don't have to have a node to be on the network, but if you're on the network and you are a node, you're basically participating in the database, like the decentralized database,
Yes.
in that particular field. Okay. So when let's say you're sending let's say someone who's using the network. Let's say this is Vlad, right? And you want to send, say, tokens, right, through blockchain to a particular address. Let's say this address is some other person. Let's say this is Hassan right here, right? And you're sending me some tokens, right? I'm assuming all these nodes here take a copy of that transaction. Is that how it works? So
Uh,
each one of those will say Vlad sent Hassan 20 tokens. Is this how it works?
yes, but I need to say that near work in a sharded way. So not
Hmm.
everything right on every node. And
Uh-huh.
yes,
Uh-huh.
but
Uh-huh.
um, the cause of it is when you save every transaction and every data on the
Mm,
node, you
mm,
will mm, set your performance very low like Ethereum, and your gas fee will be very high like on Ethereum. So a
mhm,
lot of
mhm,
L2 blockchains on Ethereum which have their own state, and they
mhm,
only create some proof, cryptographic proof that something was stored on their chain, and only after that they publish something on the Ethereum, because Ethereum has a lot of very big fees. But
that's
on
right,
Near,
that's right.
but Near created another system where not every data and transaction will be stored
Needs to
on every
replicate.
node.
That's
Yes,
right.
it's sharded. It's sharded.
Yeah, yeah. Interesting. It's sharded, right? It's basically broken down and fragmented across, multiple nodes. So not every node, like basically you're saying it could be these three nodes in green, but these two nodes don't have any idea of that transaction that happened, just as a form of optimization for the network, basically.
Yes.
Interesting. Okay, and now, so okay, so just to bring people back, so you're sending tokens, right, going from here all the way down to here, and then there is this whole thing, all this whole process is called a transaction, and you're saying you want to write a .NET app and put it on the blockchain? Is that what you're doing?
Yes. Yes. And
Okay.
and how it works? Every account on the Near blockchain is actually
Uh,
smart contracts. So
that's right.
even if you created your account and have a little of Near, a little amount of Near, you
Mhm,
already be able to store inside your account some functions and be able to communicate with blockchain using these
mhm.
functions.
Okay. Okay. So basically, you're basically saying these transactions, or whatever happens on that network, you can basically send an executable, like a JavaScript kind of ISK kind of thing, and it runs. So how will people use it? Like, let's say, okay, you put your .NET app on the blockchain, right? I'm assuming that means that multiple nodes have a copy of that app. Is that right? Because
Yes.
that's how it replicates over the network, right? Okay. How do you use it? Like you've deployed the app. How do you use it now? Mm.
So after you deployed your app, you expose some sort of function which you wrote in your smart contract.
Okay. So there's a
So
function there. Okay. Okay.
yes,
Hmm.
this function you can use through any API client on Near which is available,
Mm-hmm.
and in this function you able to perform any operation on the
Any
chain.
operation.
Yes,
Mm.
but you don't have access to the network. You don't
Mm-hmm.
have access to some files or something like that. You able to communicate with other smart contracts, calling their
Mm-hmm.
functions. Also, you able to change the state inside this concrete smart account. And there are a lot of environment stuff which available on new blockchain, some standard cryptography, and you can get the time,
Mm-hmm.
uh, very little operation system, and you can use this little operation system inside your smart account, and you
Mm-hmm.
can create, for example, let's say we wanted to create some sort of um, exchange. So
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
you create your smart contracts, and
Mm-hmm.
you have, for example, some sort of hash map
Mm-hmm.
with key value.
Mm-hmm.
And for example, you wanted to store some money, some you want to store there some deposits. Yes, for example, some person comes to you and said, okay, I wanted to swap this amount of USDT on this amount of Bitcoin. He
Mm-hmm.
go to the smart contract, put his tokens there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
After that, we can write inside smart contracts that this person was inserted this amount of tokens. We write it, and after he was able to swap, we call the functions,
Mm-hmm.
withdraw money from this account to this account, and these tokens to this token. So
Okay.
how it
Okay.
works? So it's manipulation with database and manipulations with other smart accounts and functions exposed on them.
Okay. Okay.
So basically, any application, literally any application which you can create it, not on the blockchain, you can recreate it on the chain with a little difference because everything is open. So you need to encrypt your information, hide
You
some
have to be
very
careful
interesting.
because security here is like a first class citizen,
Yes,
right? Mm-hmm.
and also you need to create very small size and optimized function because every transaction will cost some amount of money, and you was able to pay it for your user, but in uh, 99% of the application user pay for his transaction.
For the
So
transactions. That's
yeah.
right. Okay. I see the theory. I see it. It sounds amazing, right? This is a whole new thing, right? What I love about this is that it's like personally, I think like you really are the embodiment, like this implementation is the embodiment of being cloud foreign, not cloud native. You're not tied up to any particular cloud. You're not tied up to any particular infrastructure. The app is everywhere and nowhere, basically. It's on the blockchain, it's on the network, it's decentralized. There's hundreds of thousands of copies of it, depending on how many nodes you have on the network and how many of these nodes are storing that. Talk is cheap. Show us the code. Let's get to the business
Okay.
side of it. Go ahead.
Okay. I will share my screen.
Let's do it.
Okay. Uh, so, do you see my screen?
I will add it. Here we go. Yes. Now everyone can see your screen. There you go.
Okay. Okay. So,
Okay. Mhm.
this is the simple contract proof. It's not like the final version is just
That's fine.
uh, alpha version of it, and in the future I will create much more simple representation of how smart contract
Like an
looks on.
SDK or something that we
Yes,
can,
yeah.
yeah. Mhm.
So it starts from your class smart contract. There are some very simple logics. I have my structure where I can define my const variables, and in this case, I decided to write that I'm the owner of the
The
smart
owner of it.
contract.
Yep.
Yes,
Mhm. Mhm.
and also I expose function like here. So when you will be on the JavaScript side on any other client API side, so you can call this function. It will cost you nothing because it's just reading information. And I have this little helper which can return data from the function.
Okay.
So it's very simple representation how read function works. So you need to expose them with this annotation, and you need to return value from the method using this helper.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, um, I can show actually how it works a little bit under the hood.
But wait. Before you go
Uh,
there, okay, let's just first talk about this. You defined a smart contract, and this smart contract has a bunch of C sharp methods in it, static C sharp methods, right? And these methods have implementations of it, right? Because you have that return owner, near smart contract builder return method, and you basically had to build special kind of wrappers around C sharp implementations in order for you to be able to run, that contract. Is this contract what sits on the blockchain, or is it the language that the consumer, the deployer, the consumer, and the provider speak in sort of way? Can you explain that part, like the smart contract itself?
okay, we need to start from how it must be shown on the blockchain side. Wait a
Mm,
second, I need to show
mm.
uh, how it will be looks like. Uh, mm,
So you want to start your own kind of blockchain network on your local machine right now? Is that what you're trying to
yes,
do?
I already started. So, but before that, I want to show what I wanna have and
Hmm.
what the new blockchain will see. It's
Okay.
like how a very small size of C sharp code will looks like.
Hmm.
So we need to provide our imports from the new blockchain. So it's actually our API of a new blockchain inside smart
Okay.
contracts. Here we have
Okay.
input. This function will work in order to take the input from the user, your
Hmm.
JSON, and after that you will parse it. But
Hmm.
actually, it's just a simple byte, raw bytes, before you will parse it. You can also we have here log function for logging strings. We
Hmm.
have here some sort of register. It will this register we will use it under the hood. The .NET developer in the future will not working with this register. Only if he want to do it, it will be
Okay.
possible.
Okay.
And you have storage read, storage write, and value return. So
Nice.
it's a basic method, but
Yes.
and I can show it here, this method, but it's around 253 stroke of
Lines of
code.
code. Yeah. Hmm.
Yes.
Hmm.
Um,
So
so,
this is
but
your library basically, like what were just showing that. Okay. Gotcha.
yes,
Mhm.
but when we compile it to the smart contract, we can use only imports which is imported in our code. So if we define even this 100 methods, smart native IoT LLVM compiler will use only what uses. So
Gotcha.
strict in optimization, and it's very good. And also we need to expose our function to the blockchain side. And it's here. We have retrieve, store, greet, log input, return value, hello world. All this method I create in order to test smart contracts. So, and the goal for us is to provide clean imports and clean exports. So exports will be open for the people in the future to use it from the client side. So, and right now we will return to this smart contract. Wait a second. Okay, so here we have our return owner, return value, hello world, all these exported functions which we was seeing in WASM file. So now we have this imports. I use this imports inside my environment function. Here I like map everything you need for operating inside near blockchain, like all
Mhm.
this register stuff, states, all these possible errors, how to read it from register and other
Mhm.
stuff. So I already define all of this function and operate with this low-level near system imports. So in the
Hmm.
future, .NET developer don't need to use it. So I wrap it into near smart contract builder.
Smart contract. Hmm.
Yes. So this builder will use this system imports and environment imports in
Hmm.
order to manipulate with blockchain. For example, return value, which we can see here.
Hmm. Hmm.
So wait a second. Uh, Return value, yes.
Yep.
We have return value, and if we will look
At the
inside this
import
function,
smart contract.
yes,
Mhm.
we will see
You can basically give it a value and it that just returns it. Looks like Vlad disconnected. Give him a second there to come back online. Yeah, that's very interesting. While he's kind of reconnecting, it's kind of really interesting what he's doing here. I'll bring back my screen and just see if people have any questions in the chat. What he's essentially doing is that, people always think of blockchain, for those who dug into it, they think about it in terms of like, I want to be able to, to send tokens from point A to point B, but he's taking it a little bit further, where he's not just sending tokens, but basically shipping an executable, shipping a function that can run over the network, which is kind of interesting. Like, regardless of, these nodes, that basically replicates and takes copies and verify that this app is truly what this app is, that just putting this executable on the network, and then allowing the consumers from outside of the network, like, assuming from what he just described, is that he's basically saying, okay, now it's more like a developer deploying an app, and here's a consumer sitting on the other side of this app, and I'm basically, like, from my side, I'd be the one kind of calling the API. So I'll be calling an API in here, call .NET on blockchain API, and he is the one deploy .NET app to blockchain network. This is quite fascinating, actually, because what this basically does is that it kind of takes this whole concept of decentralized networks and blockchain to a whole new level, right? It's basically not just people kind of sending cryptocurrencies to each other or validating smart contracts with each other. It's a lot more than that. It's carrying executable and carrying functions over the wire. Hey, but Vlad, welcome back.
I'm
Did you
sorry,
lose
guys.
power? Is that what happened?
Because I'm in Ukraine, we have electricity shortages because of war, and right
Yeah,
now electricity was shut down, and I need to use my emergency battery for internet
the
and all this.
generator. Please
Yes,
stay
yes.
safe. Please stay safe. Take it easy. Take it easy,
Okay.
Vlad. All right.
So
Uh-huh. Yep.
let's return to this smart
Let's get
contract.
back to it. I kind of kept the people entertained until you're back. I said I hope he's all right. He's fine. He's fine. And here you are. You're back. Let's do it.
Yes. So we can see here how return value works. We need to convert all our objects into bytes, uh, get the pointer on this object, and send it to the system imports, which imported from near environment, and
Mhm.
send our object there. So everything is very simple and mm, not so hard to understand, and there are no like big magic how it works.
Okay.
So and also we have some limitation here. Of course, we
Of
don't
course.
have
Like, you can't just pull, I don't know, system IO. Can you pull system IO? I don't think
no,
so.
no, yes, yeah.
That would make
Uh,
your library go into like 100 MB, just like that. So
yes. So also you need to use unsafe keyword. Also, it's very important. Also, you need to use static methods in order
okay.
for this to work. And
Okay.
I think
Vlad, can you hear us? I think think his generator might have ran out or something. All right, we'll give him a minute to be able to reconnect. But essentially,
I'm
like
here.
you're back. Are you, can you hear us? Okay.
Yes.
I kind of lost you for a sec. Go
Do you
ahead.
see my screen?
Reshare. Oh, there you are. I can see your screen. Yes. There you are.
Okay. So we don't have a reflection in app, only compile time reflection, and
Hmm. So there
I
are
think.
limitations. That's what you're saying. Like it's not full blown .NET app where you can just add libraries and whatnot, but it's still able to function and do certain things within the network itself.
But I want to mention that everything which can compile it to the WebAssembly will work here. So every package which you add in the future, and if this package was able to compile to WebAssembly and there are no IO or other
Hmm.
stuff, you
Hmm.
can use it here. And also, I want to mention that it's like full .NET runtime actually. And right now, I have 700 kilobytes smart contract. In the
Hmm.
future, with future optimization, I think I will be able to have very little small size of WebAssembly, like 50 kilobyte, 100 kilobyte, but I need to write my own runtime for it, and it's
Hmm.
so hard to do actually, and I need to
Okay.
write a lot of tests for it. And but right now I have everything which was in .NET runtime in my WebAssembly, so I can use all of the things inside my smart contract also, but a lot of things will not work because of the limitation of the blockchain and
Okay.
clear strict exports and imports.
Interesting. Can you show us how it works? Like
Okay.
uh-huh.
Okay, let's see how it works. I run at my node here, my new node.
Okay.
In order to for run node, you need to clone near core GitHub account. I will send it to the people who are interested in it. Wait a second.
Yes, and
Near
there and
core.
there are and there are some questions for you in the chat, but I'll let you kind of run it first, and then we'll share
Okay,
the links and everything.
uh, I will share
Yep.
links. So we have near core. It's a near node. You can run it on your computer, create your own local network with your
Hmm.
friends. Why not? And I run it on my computer, and I prepare some scripts here. Three scripts. First scripts for build a smart contract. Second for deploying, and third for testing. So
Hmm.
I want to say also that um, I cannot send uh, WASM file after clean compilation like here. Even I
Okay.
provided stubs here. I have stubs here. I have clear defined WASI interface, but there's some limitation because I can't, for example, use underscore here.
Hmm.
So also in the build script, I need to build it. I need to go to my directory and decouple my WebAssembly. After decoupling, I need to unbundle it because after this decouple, I have two WebAssembly. One
Hmm.
WebAssembly, it like VASI component. Another
Hmm.
WebAssembly is the WASM component which will be inserted, which was inserted in this VASI component. So it's actually VASI compiler, WebAssembly system interface.
Okay.
So I use this compile target for in order to achieve this clean WebAssembly file. So
Okay.
after unbundle, I get my VAT representation of WebAssembly, which I can read and change something. And in this case, I change my. I will show you. I change my imports from this
Hmm.
to
Hmm.
underscore. So after this, um, I convert my VAT file to WebAssembly, and this contract.wasm, it's a final clean WebAssembly for new blockchain. But in the future, I also will show how you can use this method in your backends
Be
and
able to actually.
yes, you can use it in your backends, in embedded devices also, and it's provide very good isolation for security. It's very
Isolation
important.
for security.
Yes, I will show it after smart contract. I will show it how you can use it in your .NET application, and you will not need to do this manipulation because I did it only for near blockchain.
Okay.
Okay, after let's build this. Uh, Run the script.
Okay.
So we have it here, and after we build it, we need to deploy it. And I will show it how you can do. You need to have near CLI. Everything in the tutorial in the README. So everyone
Awesome.
who wanna make it on his PC, you can use this README and do the same. Here we have near CLI and contract deploy. Test near is my local account, my validator account for my local node.
Mhm.
Also, I have my WebAssembly file, which I got from all this
That
manipulation.
WASM file. That's right. And
Yes,
you're already running it on .NET 10. That's awesome. That's awesome.
yes, yes. And here I wanna deploy it with initialization call, hello world function, which we can see here. Here our hello world, and it's just log hello world. So uh, hello world, JSON arguments, there are no arguments. Also, I add here a guess. You need to have
Yes. Mhm,
guess for
mhm,
deploying your smart contracts. Also, not only guess, you also need to have your new tokens on your account. So the more smart contract you will, the more size of smart contract you will have, the more money you need to put in it. So you will need around 7 or 8 near for deploying smart contract using C# and .NET right now. So it's
mhm.
around like right now it's around 70-80 bucks right now.
Interesting.
Yes, it's a lot for now, and in the future I wanted to optimize it. For example, on Swift, on Go, on Rust, it's like a few dollars because there I can compile smart contracts into 100 kilobytes, 50 kilobytes, even 500 bytes. So, but it's not about C# because here we have full .NET runtime.
Gotcha.
Also, you can attach deposit. Here, I don't attach anything, and you can use this function in order to attach any kind of money in your transaction. And
Okay.
I said here network config local net because I run my own node. Sign in with access key, and in folder near credentials, I have my uh, credentials for my local node. It's simple public key, private key, and my account ID. It's nothing
Vlad, someone has a question for you actually in the chat.
else.
Someone says, can this be used for Hyperledger products like Indie Network?
Mm, hyper. Mm, I know what is ledger means by hyper. Relative truth. Mm, maybe I think yes. If there any kind of WebAssembly machine inside it,
If there's a
uh,
machine that can host a WASM application on the network, then it should be able to run it, right?
yes. But also for any other blockchain too, because if your blockchain use some sort of LLVM transformation and
Mm,
compilation,
mhm, mhm.
it is possible because I use. I don't know I show or not. Okay, I will share with you a links.
Go ahead.
Um,
Go ahead.
mm, so it's runtime lab, feature
Uh-huh.
native
Runtime
IoT
lab.
LLVM,
Mm-hmm.
and here you can.
Is that
Uh,
is that runtime lab? Is this like a .NET kind of framework. It's a version of .NET that basically like has special kind of
Yes,
it allows you to run in certain environments. Is that what it is? Runtime lab.
yes,
Interesting.
yes,
Interesting.
yes. So here you have everything you need, and if your blockchain needs to have LLVM, some sort of compilation, and after this LLVM representation, you compile your in your format of blockchain
Mm-hmm.
smart contract, you can use this. Um, you can use this repository in order to achieve it. So as
For those who are not familiar, LLVM is low level virtual machine. Vlad, low level virtual machine. That's what it means. LLVM,
yes,
just to run
yes,
things. Okay, cool, awesome.
and I think yes, you can use it.
So basically, the answer to the question is like, as long as there's a node on the network that would allow hosting and running the application, then it will work. That's what you're saying, basically.
Yes, yes.
Okay, nice, nice. Okay, okay, let's go back to the demo. Let's run it. Let's run this thing.
Okay, so I deployed, and as you can see here,
So you deploying meaning that you sent the app out there and any host on that network that has the
yes,
capability of hosting and running this app now has a copy of that app. Okay, awesome.
yes. So here we call the scripts, and we can see how this transaction is actually executed. We have
Hmm.
our code, we have our account on which we will deploy our smart contract. Also we have our initialization function call hello world with
Hmm.
attached gas and zero deposit and zero arcs. So
Okay.
after we sign in it with our keys, we make HTTP call to near JSON RPC using our keys on our node, which was on 3030 port, and it's our request body. And this is our response. We have blockchain hash. By this hash, you can see the details of your transaction. And in
Okay.
the future, when it will works on testnet and pod, we can we be able to see this on the indexer and see all details of the transaction, how it was executed, and all things about it by this hash. Also, we have our block height, nonce, and our permission. In near we have two types of key, one
Hmm.
for full access, and you was able to do everything with your account, and you have limited access key. In this case, in limited access key, you can only call some sort of function, and you was be able to spend fixed amount of money. So near it's very secure blockchain in this case, because you can store your full access key inside your very secure wallet storage, but you can go outside with your limited access key and use your smart contract with this limited access key. And even if someone steals this limited access key, you will not lose all of your money. So it's
Hmm.
very important also to understand. And near very progressive blockchain in this case, because on Ethereum you don't have this opportunity.
Hmm. Hmm. Okay. Okay.
So here we
Mm.
have our full JSON RPC response with all these very boring logs, but this but these logs actually said a lot about how it was executed, how much gas spent, all these things you can see here. And
So let me ask you this. So when people host on the network, they get paid too because they're hosting your app, right? Is that how it
mm,
works?
no, if you want to store your smart contract on the blockchain, you need to put inside your account, which you created before,
Mm,
some amount of new tokens.
that's
So
right.
if you put, for example, 10 new tokens and you deploy your smart contracts here, you don't need to pay more for it. Your
Right.
smart contract,
So the network itself is responsible for paying
yes,
the
yes,
people on the network. Okay.
but how it works, for each transaction on your on this blockchain at all,
Hmm. Hmm.
validators will get some money for executing the transaction and validating it.
Because they're validating. They're saying, yeah, this is what it is. I have a copy that confirms,
Yes.
that this is what it say it is. Okay. Okay.
Also, validators get some amount of rewards
Mhm.
I think each year or each quarter of year. I don't know because I'm not interested in validator things. Like I'm
Yeah.
not the validator or
You're
near,
just a
but I know.
developer. You're developing for the network. It doesn't
Yeah,
matter really
yeah, yes.
validation. No.
But I know that validator have money from the execution of the transaction and also some reward because each year near minted uh, 2.5% of total tokens for these validators and for the community. So each year, I think,
Interesting.
yes.
Interesting.
So near send it money to the validator, to the builders, to the users. So
Okay. So I'm gonna give you one thing because we have about 15 minutes. I want you
okay.
to create. This is gonna be it, right? This is how everybody's gonna start kind of grasping and kind of compiling everything together. I want you to create a new function
Mm-hmm.
in your .NET blockchain app that adds two numbers. It'll just add two numbers. That's all it's
Okay.
doing. And then we're gonna deploy it and we're gonna try it. What do you think about that? So
Okay.
let's do
Okay.
it.
So we
Mhm.
need to store it on the chain or not?
Yeah, I mean, you mean the
Okay.
response? You mean the response or the actual? Yeah, we have to store it, right? I mean, I know you're gonna spend a couple of, Nira tokens or whatever, but that's the demo, right? So,
Okay.
mm,
So okay. Let's name it demo.
mhm,
So okay. Let's say we have our. We just have inside function two numbers and edit.
mhm, mhm. Yeah, you just pass two numbers to it. I want to be able to pass two numbers to it as a
Okay.
consumer, right? And
Okay.
then
Okay.
and then it responds to me with the answer, and it's running on the. And if I can consume it, I'm an outsider, but let's just try it here first, and then we'll see. This is the ultimate kind of. Here's what it is, in very simple terms.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
But I'm not sure that I have my. Okay, I have my raw input. I don't
yeah.
have like
Like output,
and
like
I
an
don't
output.
have encoding because when I pass some JSON inside my function call,
Mhm.
it's just a raw bytes.
That's right.
So I don't have any encoder, and I just implemented input string. Maybe
Okay,
let's concatenate two string together.
sure. Let's do it. Let's
Uh,
concatenate two strings together.
Okay, okay. Input, and let's say we have another string um, demo. So after that, we uh, paste it.
Can you make it, since you're talking about string concatenation? I want to send the name, like let's say Vlad, and it will respond with Mr. Vlad. That's the
Okay,
concatenation.
okay,
Okay?
okay.
Simple.
Results. Okay, let's make it simple. Yes.
That's it.
Okay. Let's say it will be name
Hmm.
and uh, uh,
And then just can you do interpolation? Okay, that's fine. That's all right. Let's do it. Let's
okay,
do
okay.
it. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Okay. But first of all, I need to add another export here. It's very important because if we will not provide clean WebAssembly interface type, we will not be able to compile our smart contracts.
Hmm. Hmm.
And also, I want to, after this demo, I want to show a little bit how you can use it inside your .NET application, your backends. It was a few minutes, but I think it will be
That's fine.
very interesting.
Yeah, let's do it, man. I think it's worth it.
So we create new function, we add it inside our export.
Okay.
So here we get our input from the user.
From the
uh,
user,
con-
and then it'll say hello, Mister, whatever the
yes,
username is. Okay,
yes, convert it to the string and just
let's do it.
return the value. Okay, deploying it, and let's test it.
Let's test it.
Yes, and because we don't write anything on the blockchain, we can create read-only
Yep.
transaction.
So basically, you created a new function, you registered the function, and now you're just kind of simulating the call for it, essentially, through that echo. Let's do it.
Yes.
I see what you're doing. It's perfect. Let's do it.
Okay. Uh,
Says I failed to finish.
read only. Okay, we need to make it call function, but
Yeah,
not read only as transaction. Let's make it as transaction.
sure, sure.
Vlad.
Demo, then everything is okay. So it's treating that communication with the app. It's gonna treat it as a transaction, not just read
Yes,
only.
here. Yes,
Hello,
here you
Mr.
can
Vlad.
see. Yeah.
Nice, nice. And that came from the network, the blockchain. That came
Yes.
from wow. I mean, think about the possibilities, right? Like think about all the things that can be done with just something like that. That's amazing. That's amazing. Um,
Yes, you can create your token, your NFTs, put any files on the blockchain, any ideas which you where you need to decentralize your logic. You
uh-huh. So you're not just this just takes blockchain to a whole new level, Vlad, because you're not just kind of sending data, because token transaction is essentially just data, right? You're sending behavior like compute. You're shipping compute over the wire, and you're allowing other consumers to be able to kind of interact with this application that you built while it's being hosted everywhere and nowhere, basically. Is that what this is?
Yes, you have 24/7 runtime.
Available network.
Yes, availability. Yes, no downtime for from 2017. No downtime on your blockchain. So
Wow. Because of
also
all the yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Also, I want to say that Near have the finality of 600 milliseconds. So if you will create very small function, you will have
Mhm.
instant result. Not like on the Ethereum where you need to wait a few minutes in order to execute some transaction. On Near, it's just happen instantly. Also, I want to mention, guys, that Near is asynchronous blockchain. You have here promises. You can create promise with calling another function on another smart contract, and like don't spend time to waiting for the result. It will
Mm.
compensate some amount of gas, and your function will be executed a lot of faster than synchronous function. So Near
That's
provide
amazing.
everything you need. Yes,
Looks like
and
it looks like from their website, Near is basically the network that you're using to deploy your blockchain .NET app. Okay. It looks like you can also build an agent on the blockchain. I mean
yes.
sky's the limit now, right? If you can run an app, you can run anything, right?
Yes, and it's very good page. And actually, I want to say that the founder of the Near guys is Ilya Polosukhin. It's the person who created paper. One of the creator of the paper. Attention is all you need. If you have ChatGPT, T is the
Uh-huh.
transformer. So
Nice.
it's the
Nice.
architecture of ChatGPT, and you can see Ilya here. So it's a
Yeah.
great. It's a one of the creator of this paper. So Near focusing on AI, on decentralization, on open internet, and they wanna bring at least 1 billion people to the blockchain and this AI engine stuff. And there are a lot of opportunities for builders, for developers.
That's
I
amazing.
was just a regularly developer, developer, and this blockchain helped me to grow actually. And I still wanna create for them much more. And
I
if
feel
you
like I feel like what they're like blockchain takes everything to the next level. How things are supposed to be, community based, powered by people. Big fan of like the idea of decentralization. The fact that you don't have one company or one destination or one box. You hear about it in the news every day, right? You hear about, all these outages, AWS outage and then Azure outage and then, all these outages. And I am assuming on a blockchain network, that's much harder to happen, right?
And I also want to answer on question in chat. What about chain networks, guys? And I want to say about all other network also. If your networks is like Ethereum type, near able to communicate with this network. So near have one very interesting thing. It's chain abstraction. Chain abstraction. It's a
Nice.
power tools which provide you to have one near account. For example,
Mm.
your smart contract, and you can communicate with other blockchain using this smart
So
contract.
you can work with other blockchain
Yes,
networks too, not just the
yes,
one.
yes.
Oh man, that's
And
amazing.
and you don't need to store these keys inside your computer. So you have MPC. It's like decentralized service of nodes which help you to create your keys from different providers. So your keys very store it very securely, and you don't need to store it inside your ledger or inside your computer. You just need one key, one new account, and you can communicate with all other networks which now is available. And there are a lot of networks available, and almost any Ethereum type networks is supported right now.
That's
So
awesome. That's awesome. You have another question here, though. It says, can it be used for service that needs some level of censorship resistance?
100%, guys. Blockchain here for this. And if you have some opinions which you want to share with other people and was um, able to store this information in a chain as much as possible, as long as possible, you can do it. You can create your account, store their data, create the website showing this data, just taking your keys, throwing in the ocean, and your data will be there forever. Like, yes, it's possible.
It's like this dude that lost like $150 million
Uh,
worth, billion dollars worth of Bitcoin because he lost his skis and he just doesn't know how to.
yes, yes, you're right. So,
I mean, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
so
Hmm.
100% you can use blockchain for this censorship resistance. And uh, if I will be able to use it for it, I will use it blockchain for it. And especially new blockchain because I can write a lot of information there for not a lot of money if we compare it to the Ethereum and other blockchains.
Awesome, awesome. Vlad, we're almost at the top of the hour. We have a couple of minutes. Do you want to share anything else with developers to kind of get started with this thing? Like you shared the links, you talked about Near, you shared a bunch of GitHub repos. What do you want to tell people in the .NET community or software engineers in general about kind of getting into the blockchain and developing applications on the blockchain?
Okay, so first of all, guys, going to the new docs website,
Hmm.
started from the beginning, learn about new blockchain, how to set up all the environment, understand how it works under the hood, and after that, you can use any tools which you want. Now we don't we have options to write code on C Sharp and .NET, but this option will be enabled in production and testnet in around 1 month. So new team need around 1 month to enable C Sharp on chain because C Sharp smart contracts has feature like bulk memory support on
Hmm.
WebAssembly, and it's a reason why they need to update their runtime for WebAssembly. So we need 1 month, and you will be able to write smart contracts on C Sharp. But right now you can use Rust, Go, JavaScript, Python for your
That's
smart
crazy,
contract.
man. That's just amazing. Like, and
Yeah,
and
yeah.
running AI agents on the network in a decentralized way, that's also just a whole new level, right?
So also read about chain abstraction, read about AI agent, and create a first smart contract. Try to create something interesting. Share it with near team. Near have a lot of Telegram groups, Discord channel where you can share it. Also, you can write me. I have my GitHub repository. You can write me and ask your question. I will be happy to help you. And share anything which I can in order for you to write your first smart contracts, your application on chain. And
Awesome. Mhm.
I think it's everything which people need to know. And but I also want to show engineers of C#.net, even if you don't want to use it for blockchain, you're not interested in blockchain, you can use this clean WebAssembly in your application, and it will give you a lot of power. And I want to show it right now, a few
Yeah.
minutes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah,
I
take your
also have this inside my repository. You need to open for reproducing it on your PC. You need to open Clean WASM MD file. You
Mhm,
have everything here to know and how it works. For example, you have your one big .NET backend application. Like I call it case one because it's
mhm,
one case. Maybe I will create a lot of new case with real .NET application, but right now it's very simple case. And here we have only one dependency, it's WASI time. It's the runtime for WebAssembly. And we have our program and we have our WebAssembly file. And here is simple .NET runtime application. You can run it on Mac, Windows, you can deploy it to the cloud, everything you want. So you create this engine, you import WebAssembly file, you define your inputs. For example, here I have two inputs, write something, read something.
mhm,
And you define the behavior of this function. And after that, you can take your WebAssembly file, provide these imports, and get exports from this WebAssembly file. Here I have two functions, read and write. And it's like a host. And also we have our logic implementation here.
mhm, mhm,
Uh, here, here we have our WebAssembly imports. As we provided here. Wait a second. As we provided here. So here we provide our imports, but here we need to define which imports we want to take from our host. For example, we have big host .NET application backend, and you are a developer who working on some very strict and security sensitive feature. You
mhm,
define, I want to import these two function. I know exactly exactly what this function will do in host environment. So after that, I create my experts. And here, very simple expert is my logic, which in the future will be executed on the host. So here I define my logic. I Here is just simple basic calculation. And after that, I compile it, like I compiled my smart contracts in the same way. Let me
mhm,
show you. Here our WASM case, our WebAssembly function. I
mhm.
build it with build scripts and everything you need here in the
Just running.
repository. You can, yes,
Nice.
here we have our WebAssembly file, very small size file in our publish repository. Take this file, put it here, our host machine, and in our host machine we need to call .NET run, and here we have our function executed, and we call our read something with some ID and return some value as expected. So what this feature can give you? For example, you have very sensitive application and you have a lot of developers who work on a lot of different features. You as an architecture, you can create one host and control it by yourself and don't take this environment and code for any developer. You just tell them and create some sort of environment on C Sharp and said, guys, here's the environment function which you can call inside the host. You can call only this function, and I will see. I will waiting from you that you will provide me some experts. For example, you're working on feature A, and this
Mhm,
feature A must to have only two inputs: read and write something, and my
mhm,
must to have only one export. For example, perform action. Yes, and you as an architecture, you strictly need to only these functions. And um, when you will take this WebAssembly file from your developer A, you will 100% will know that this WebAssembly file will not have anything else. For example, but when you work on big project and a lot of developers share the same code, some developers can use some malicious code inside, or show this code to other people, or steal this code. But in
That's
this
right.
case,
Hmm.
but in this case, you can define strictly. I have my host. I'm the architecture who wanna provide only, for example, two function for other developers to create on top of this host. And also, it's very important that you can create hot swaps. You only
Nice.
one time create .NET application, deploy it, and you can create logic where you're just waiting for the new files from your AWS S3, for example, or Azure object.
Whatever. Yeah, whatever it may be.
Yes.
Vlad, there's a question for you there. Don't mean to interrupt, but someone's
Okay.
asking, is there any restriction to connect to database or external source? I'm assuming like you're deploying, and it's replicating, and now you want this app to call a database. That's kind of a like, what do you think
Uh,
about that? Hmm.
Yes, you have restriction, but how I see it, for example, you have your restricted host environment, and you provide two inputs, read and write.
Hmm.
The person who will work on some feature, he can have like Docker container with tested
Hmm.
host for test. Yes, and there he can have his own test database, test environment. You can also have your test environment somewhere else. But a person who will develop this application in this kind of way, he will not have any kind of information about database or about structure of this database. He will be able to use only this function which you can provide to him. So
Hmm. Hmm.
he just will write a business logic, nothing else.
Okay. Okay. So basically, like, okay, but the developers still have to kind of do some testing, right? And make sure that the connection to the database works and whatnot. What do you think about that?
I think that you have like, for example, two person. One is architecture, second is DevOps. If
That's right.
these guys connected together and one of them created this infrastructure and infrastructure work, and architecture create good host environment and everything there work, you can create prod dev environment, give links to the dev environment for your developers.
Mm,
They can create integration tests, for example, where they build this WebAssembly file, deploy it
mhm,
to this test network,
mhm.
and execute this function. That's all. So
Gotcha.
we
Gotcha.
can create this kind of cooperation with each other.
Gotcha. Vlad, I wish we had more time. I feel like, we need another session to kind of, pick up where we left off. I know that you said like in a month or so, .NET apps will be natively supported on the near network. I'm very excited to bring you back again and you can show people, the network and how it works and whatnot. This is such an amazing session and I appreciate your advice and what you shared with the developers and also for the people watching us, I appreciate you joining in and asking all the questions. Thank you, Habib Salimi and unknown user I1J and everybody else. Everyone, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, I'm gonna try to kind of put all the links that Vlad shared in the description of the video as well. So when you come back and watch it, you know where to reach him and how to learn about blockchain. If you're not familiar with blockchain at all, I mean, learn it. It's a new thing, I mean, it's not really new. It's been around since, forever, but if you haven't actually been into it, start learning about it and see why it's useful and why a lot of people are investing quite a bit of time and effort into learning about blockchain and then add AI on top of that, not to make things, just to keep things kind of exciting and interesting. I mean, I saw the agent deployment. If you can run a function that says, hello, Mr. Vlad, you can do anything, right? That's the whole point of it. And thank you, Vlad. We'll talk to you soon. Thank you, everyone. Take care.
Bye.
All right, man. You're off.